Hey everybody, MVP here. Hope everybody's well. And it's Sunday morning, 17th of July. I've been on vacation for a week or two, and we're just catching up on the week. I managed to trade on Friday, but I just wanted to catch everyone up on the weekend and where the markets were. Okay, what you've got in front of you is one of the many variations I have of my FXCorrelator. This actually allows you to set all your 8 currencies, as you can see up here at the top, all your 8 currencies there. It allows you to zeroize them at any place in time. It does a lot more things than that, to be honest. I developed these over time with some very good programmers and quants. I just want to show you what happened this week. This is the start of the week, coming back to about 10th, 11th, whatever, of the week, coming into Monday here. The dotted white lines there divide up the 5 days, and we're just going to have a quick talk through. The colours here are standard colours. This is standard FXCorrelator colours, and let's just see how the week went and where your trading should have been. What else do we need to know? On the right here, 0 there, obviously the 0 line. If a currency falls below that, that means that it's selling net in the week, and if it goes above that line, it means it's buying from the start of the week. Values here, you see a 200 there, up to 500-600 here. Very approximations on the pips. I can't get this exactly right, but what that shows you is how many pips an individual currency has moved. So remember, when you trade pairs, you are really adding together the pip values of each of your currencies. So for example, this is the red US dollar, the red sterling. And if we look around here, we can see this got up to 500-600 pips. And if you come down here, you can see that actually through the week, the yen, the yellow yen, got very weak. It was sold off during the week. So technically, you get down here into the 600-700s. Technically, if you'd started off the week on Monday and opened to trade buying GJ, buying the sterling into yen, by the end of the week, you should have been over 1,000 pips up. Approximately. Okay, again, it just gives you an approximation. Like any index, it's weighted, various things, but it just gives you an idea. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. Other thing here, the red dotted lines indicate the start of roughly London morning trading around 5-6 a.m, around 6 a.m. in the morning. So each of these reds means where generally I would start trading for my 2-hour stint most mornings when I am working and when I am trading. And the blue dotted line there around 12:30, 1:30 time. This is GMT +1, by the way, this chart. So 12:30 means 1:30, and 1:30 GMT is around when really the US is firing up. You've got stock markets opening up, everything. So the right side of each of the blue here is when we go into what I call US session. Okay, so you've got 3 sessions here. You've got the Asian overnight, obviously from roughly where roughly midnight. It starts before that, obviously. You talk about 10 o'clock in the evening when you talk about Far East firing up. Japan, obviously, Australia warms up first. So they're your sessions. Okay. So let's look at Monday, this end. Okay. Just very recapping on Monday, because I wasn't trading it, I was on vacation, as I said. Big sell-off in yen that day. Yellow yen was selling off from early Asian. It absolutely got hammered at London session, as you can see here, and it was pretty flat actually. US, and it got down to the 200s. Yeah, see the mark. So there was a 200 pip sell-off through the day there, but the big action was the London morning, and most currencies actually in response to that were generally bullish. In fact, there was a big divergence there. The green USD firing up pretty well. We're talking probably pushing 70-80 pips there. Red sterling, again another very volatile currency, came on, came off. That would have been a tougher trading, tougher to trade that. There was no real bias there, as you can see. It was swinging backwards and forwards. Ended up in London session very bull, and went into US, and again pretty bull actually. Good session for sterling. Everything else really no more than 50. I don't know, bring this down a bit. What are we around here? 50, 60. I mean, 50, 60 pips is nothing on a day's movement. So you can see that the real big movers, obviously the yen, sterling, everything else really just watching. They were passengers. Okay, let's go to Tuesday. Continuation, absolutely. Now the yen really got hammered. Look at this through the Asian session. Early Asian, bang, sell. London session, sell. Even the US, early US, bang, sell. It responded a little bit and came off. And what did we get to here? We're down to 500 pip sell-off now. So 200 day one, another 300 sell-off. Bad day for the yen. And how do we respond? Well, I talk about the sterling and the yen a lot. They tend to move in opposite correlation, guys. I've got to be honest with you. Great currency pair to trade, especially higher time frames like this. They really don't tend to like one another that much. If one's buying, the other's selling, and vice versa. Now that's a generalization. You can't bank on that 24 hours a day. But again, I really look at those two guys as being, they're my power players, my alpha currencies. They're very volatile, as you can see even in this time period this week. You can see that these two are the ones that really swing backwards and forwards quite violently compared to the others that really look pretty tame, don't they? And I use them as my two lead currencies a lot in my trading. If you follow me during the day, most mornings, you'll see a lot of my trades do hang off either sterling and or the yen in a pair combo. So cable for sterling generally, and I may look to the euro pound as well. And with yen again, I'll play it off the US dollar. I'll play it off euro as well. Anyway, on with the show. Let's go to Wednesday now. So here we are. We've got by this stage we're 400 pips up. I mean, sterling's having a great run in the week. Obviously bathing in the glory of what's been going on in the UK with our stability. Obviously, you know, with a new government or a new voted in elected board there with Theresa May at the helm. People actually seeing some more confidence filtering in there. As opposed to the yen, clearly, which is still selling off. So let's come into Wednesday here, this area, and finally, as all things happen, good things come to an end, and obviously there started to be a little bit of profit taking on the Wednesday, which is no respect. You think about it. I mean, if you've got traders been opening up from Sunday night, they're making their plays. You know, they could be really buying sterling into anything. You know, you're buying sterling into any of these currencies here that are sitting pretty tight to zero for the week. And certainly, you know, if you're selling yen against sterling, by this stage, you've picked up some pretty tidy profits. I mean, that's 400 pips up here plus this. So, you know, you're 300-400 pips up on any really of the other majors. And you're going to be potentially in the region of 800-900 pips up if you've gone long on sterling and short on yen. So you really have to think seriously about how you're going to start to manage this and obviously take some profits. Bit of a wobble here. You can see we're getting into a bit of a range here, 20-30 pip range there on sterling. Sterling bounces, tests this range here. So let's just bring that down. See how it was testing it here? Comes back up and then boom. As soon as we got into the US session there, blue US session there, coming into early US, boom. Sterling got sold off. Yeah, you can see yen being a little bit opposite there. Yen obviously had a fairly rangy day Wednesday, but clearly here a lot of people were taking perhaps some profits here. They got scared here, they got spooked because that support line got hit, and big sell-off. If I'd have been trading on Wednesday afternoon, I would have been selling sterling through the floor. Quite happy to sell it against a very flat US dollar. Look how flat US dollar is during the week, guys. US dollar, obviously, I think it represents something like 80% of all pairs traded in the world at any one time. It's part of that. So it's a big currency. It is the currency, the anchor currency, the global currency. But it can be as flat as a pancake sometimes. And this week was pretty poor, actually. Look for a little bit more than that sometimes. But yeah, you can sell cable here. And that was probably the play of Wednesday afternoon there, just selling sterling. Okay, let's come into Thursday. And actually, I was flying back Thursday. I started looking at the market Thursday afternoon just out of interest. Actually, bottoms out a bit here. There was some tests down the bottom here coming into the very early Asian. So sterling got tested there, and then bang! I mean, fantastic response. Look at this, all the way back up the chart. So here we are. We're about 200 up for the week, and it concludes the day, it concluded at pretty much into the end of the London morning session. We've pumped another nearly 300 pips, so a 300 pip move up for sterling through Thursday morning. And if you were buying that from the Asian, I mean, what a great morning, guys. Again, guess where you're looking. Well, CAD actually, brown CAD was pretty strong. These guys were flat to bull. US dollar still flat as a pancake. So you could have bought cable and just made money off the fact that sterling was moving. You're not getting any bounce off of the dollar, but you can still make 200 or 300 pips here. sell off the New Zealand dollar, which had a bad week actually, bad second half of the week, sell off New Zealand dollar, and certainly as sterling was doing well, look at the equal and opposite here of yen. So yen, see that resistance line here? Yen couldn't get any better than this. It was around the 400s, couldn't get back up above the 400s, and then starts to sell off early Asian, and it went from 400 down to this 200 pip, 220 pip drop. So again, you know, if you're buying sterling and selling yen, I mean, these are the trades to be on, even if you don't trade that as an exact pair, which I don't tend to do when I'm scalping, because it is quite volatile. And again, I'm only playing with 5 pip spread, 5 pip stops. I'll happily sell yen into anything up here. I'll sell it against the euro, I'll sell it against the Aussie, I'll sell it against the dollar. It doesn't worry me. So, you know, big session there. Came into the US session. This is when I just about got home, cleared myself up, and then started looking at the screens. And you saw we got into a rangy session here. Sterling came off, bounced. I mean, 400 for that's about a 60-70 pip range here. And you could have range traded that, buying back up as it came up. But again, it finished the US very strong, getting stronger and stronger. Yen came off. And we saw the CAD doing pretty well by now as well. So interesting day. Okay, last but not least, Friday when I was trading, in fact. So let's see where we are. Asian session was a very strong sterling. So sterling pushed up, and sterling finally pushing towards the 500-600 pips in the week. And I don't know if you read my thread, but again, I always mention on a Friday morning, it's always worth looking and seeing where the big moves are in the week. I mean, traders, you know, it's a bit of a generalization, but you have to say, you know, whenever traders have made a lot of money on a particular pair or a particular move of a currency, you have to be very wary. Coming into the weekend, you don't necessarily want to hold trades over the weekend. You want to start closing out. So what do? You obviously start reversing your trades. And this was a classic example. Look at how sterling reaches its high towards the end of the Asian session. And then as soon as we're looking really into London morning, look at the sell-offs and look at the nice range, you know, call it a wave, Elliott wave or whatever, but look at the sell-offs now, gradually all the way down. That was something like a 600 to, that's a 50% sell-off in literally the session, yeah, from London all the way through early US. And I think I indicated that on my chart. I was happy to buy it because this is 20, 30 pip moves, guys. And when you're scalping, that's big bucks. But generally, as you say, a parabolic sell-off there. It gradually picked up pace, selling down. So selling sterling into pretty much anything. US dollar came up actually nicely into early US. So that was a nice period here. And I remember I was making that play. But again, selling sterling off against anything would have been okay. Perhaps not CAD. CAD obviously came off as well. And sure as eggs are eggs, yen also started to accelerate through. And we saw that yen, because it had reached down to the nearly 700 pip fall, again, inevitably traders perhaps started coming out of that. Not too much. I mean, 700 down to 500. That's only, 20, was it 25%, something like 30% sell-off. But still a sell-off, still a buy back into the trades of the week. So that's pretty much it for that. This is MVP. Just give you a quick update on something else. Just remember, I'm at Baby Pips. I'm at Forex Factory. I'm primarily at Trade to Win. Just remember my website, fairly basic website. I'm just building this again, guys, after a little bit of a layoff on this. FXCorrelator.com. This is me, and that is Mr. Corey there. People ask what it is. Well, the reason I call it Mr. Corey is because obviously of all the colours he paints. And that's my FX correlator, my free indicator. Go to my website. There's a few things here. I've got some free links and systems, how to contact me. I've got a blog where I talk about things, and I'll probably put this video on there. And my training potentially, or hopefully my training in 2017. Go there and you can see what I'm going to be proposing to teach people. It will obviously be about the system and some of the things I do. Got a free links area as well there, and if you switch on down, lots of little buttons here, and you can go and see some of the things that I do. My YouTubes, lots of other stuff here. My gold meter, which actually has been doing very well, guys. That's another free indicator. Simple systems. I've got the triple Corey, 3-duck Corey, 80-20 system. I mean, a lot of stuff here. So feel free to pop in, if you can on here. I just say if you could subscribe, that'd be great. If you subscribe, I'll keep in touch. I won't bother you too much, but I'll let you know when things are going to be running. Okay, this is MVP signing off. Have a great trading week, and I'll speak to you next week. Cheers, bye.